Good evening. First tonight, major changes to UK pension rules that will hit expats here in the pocket. If you've ever lived and worked in Britain and still pay into the country's state pension scheme, you'll be shelling out a lot more in contributions from next year.
Yes, the increase comes after the UK government tightened the rules in last week's budget and means affected islanders will go from paying around £180 a year to more than £900. And it's not just the cost that's changing, as Verity Wishart will report.
It was a budget that dominated the headlines for increasing taxes on people across the UK. But what was in Chancellor Rachel Reeves's red box also had ramifications here in the Channel Islands, tightening rules on pension contributions for those living abroad.
It used to be very cost effective, and it's almost sort of tripled in terms of how much it will cost you. It used to be a much sort of lower level. Now it's almost, and when I say low level, it's a couple of £100 a year, really. It's still sensible, and it's still a part of your overall retirement plan, but it's not your only retirement plan.
Currently, expats pay £182 per year for 35 years in order to qualify for a full UK state pension. As of April next year, that number will increase to £910 a year, with contributions moving from Class 2 to Class 3. You also now need to have lived in the UK for at least 10 years to qualify, whereas previously 3 was enough. And in St Helier today, there was mixed reaction.
It seemed too good to be true before, paying such a small amount for the amount of benefit you potentially get from it.
I live on both of mine, yeah. We've got to keep those going, definitely. And if people can pay, if they can pay into them, let them do it.
As long as it's still economically sensible to keep paying contributions, you're going to get more out at the end than what I'm going to contribute.
In terms of whether it's still worthwhile, experts say if you can afford the contributions, it's still good value for money.
Well, on the old scheme, you would kind of get your money back within 6 months of retiring. So UK pensions around about £12,000 a year. You've contributed for 35 years. So that's really what you're trying to do here. You're trying to buy back or accumulate those 35 years of contributions.
If islanders have previously lived in the UK and missed national insurance contributions, they can buy back up to 6 years to contribute to the full 35 years.
The window for buying back, I think it was up to 16 years, closed in April last year. So people can still always buy back 6 years. And my understanding is that even when we reach the deadline in April next year, if you try and buy back before then, you can still buy back your 6 years at the cheaper rate. Once we get past April next year, you'll have to buy back at the more expensive rate.
A change that won't be of concern to those of pension age now, but if the goalposts continue to move, those who have spent time in the UK may have considerably less to show for it.
Well, it's certainly got people talking. Verity is here. So why did the HMRC do this then?
Well, I spoke to a representative from the Treasury in the UK today, and they said they believe people were exploiting the loophole. They say people were moving to the UK for 3 years to be able to access a full UK state pension and then returning to their home countries. So the reason why they've upped that time period to 10 years is to try and make sure people have genuine ties to the UK. And perhaps, you know, we know the UK government is looking for ways to save money. So this may be one of those ways in order to do that. But it is worth remembering that whether you're living in Jersey or Guernsey, you have a state pension that comes from the government, and actually the UK state pension was just sort of an addition if you are able to access that. So the experts say this is about future planning and making sure you're aware of all the options that are accessible to you.